Thank you all for coming today as we celebrate Chief Dingler's retirement. Chief Dingler has announced his retirement, is going to retire with the Longview Police Department after 42 years of dedicated service. Chief Don Dingler began his career with the Longview Police Department in 1973 and was promoted to the rank of Chief of Police on February 1, 2011. If you know anything about the chief, he's real uncomfortable right now. He kept telling us all week that nobody was going to show up. I told Chief Dingler for the better half of his career, he has spent his time praising the men and women of the Longview Police Department. And I told him today we were going to take the day to celebrate his service and his retirement to our city.
You know, usually you start off by saying, thank you for being here, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to start off by saying is, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. We are here for one simple reason, to celebrate and thank a man that has given his life to this community. And it's hard to put into words what that really means, but day in and day out, he's gotten up, he's gotten out of bed, he's put on this uniform, and he served us. And you know what? That's a pretty neat feeling for us. Not so neat for him, because he's the one out there doing it. But I can tell you, from the City of Longview's standpoint, we couldn't have asked for a better servant, a better leader, a better person to do what Chief Dingler's done in our city for over 40 years. Amen. Thank you, Chief. And you leave a legacy behind of service, of commitment, of pride, of humility, of every adjective that can come about a good man. That's what you are.
Chief Dingler and I have become really good friends in the last 4 years that you've been the police chief, and something we'll always be friends. And the thing that he's an inspiration to me, and I don't think he'll mind me telling you this, but not only are we good friends, but we developed a bond because we're both cancer survivors. And when that happens, as most of you know out here that have experienced that or with loved ones, that is a special bond that you develop with someone. And so not only is he my friend, but I think we walked through some of that together, and he was an inspiration to me during that time more than he was the police chief, because that really shows the character of who he is and his faith and his love for family, and that's the most important thing. So, Chief, I appreciate all that you've done, done for me personally. Thank you.
I do appreciate it.
Oftentimes when we think of the civil magistrate, we only think of the gun, the punishment of wrongdoers. And there's a tremendous importance for that, for justice and for order and for peace. But we're gathered here to celebrate the other biblical warrant for civil government, and that is to commend those who do well. And we wish you the very best and what lies ahead. And we hope you'll stay here in Longview, and but wherever the Lord takes you, we are thankful for all you've done here.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
And then, just quickly, I'd like to present a certificate of a flag and the flag to you, Chief Dingler. This certifies that the Texas flag herewith was presented to you, Chief Don Dingler, by me, Representative David Simpson, was flown over the capital of the sovereign state of Texas, July 29th, 2015, in honor of your service with the Longview Police Department. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, it is such a privilege to be here with Chief Dingler. And, you know, been a lot of years ago, but for 4 years I wore an Army uniform back when it was not pleasant nor popular to wear a uniform, and that was true for police as well during that time. And it just means so much to pay honor and tribute to a man that spent 42 years helping bring respect to the uniform, where people can feel great pride in wearing it, and then the people around know that is someone who will serve and protect. Chief, you brought so much dignity to the office. You've done so much for so many. It is only a token, but it is my honor and privilege to present a flag that was flown over the U.S. Capitol in your honor.
Thank you.
Well, Chief, it's my pleasure to present a watch to you, and because sales tax is down, it's not a Rolex. It's not even a Timex, folks. I mean, it's tough times. I'm sorry it just happened to be your deal, but
That's all right. I know how you are during budget.
I know it's tough. We do have a suitable watch to give to you today, and it's my pleasure to present this to you, and I hope you'll wear it with pride. Thank you.
I will. Thank you, David. I really do appreciate it.
Chief Dingler became the police chief. He was appointed probably within about a year after I'd been appointed the fire chief. And, you know, having a lot of similarities, him starting at the bottom of the police department and working up, and myself starting at the bottom of the fire department and working up, we kind of cut our teeth together the first couple of years of, man, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't and what we'd gotten ourselves into, I'm sure. And we had a lot of conversations, just he and I, just sitting around visiting about, you know, am I doing this right and looking at this right? And the one thing that I've grown to admire about Chief Dingler, and I've tried to emulate myself, is if you're not aware, the city of Longview works under a philosophy called ATIP: accountability, teamwork, integrity, and professionalism. And every day that I come to work using this guy as a model, I try and live up to that with every decision that I make, everything that has to be done in the good of the order of keeping the fire department moving forward and being sure that it's taking care of the citizens of Longview. So I thank you for setting that example and being that person that I can lean on as a confidant and as a mentor. And you've got to understand, in a lot of places, the relationship between fire and police, that's kind of hard to stand up here and say, but I mean every word of it. And I'm fortunate that the fire department has had the great working relationship that we've had with our local police department since my time here. I can't think of a time where it's ever been any better than it is right now, and I've got to pay homage to the people at the top that make that happen.
I've been working on a gift for the chief's retirement for several months now, and up until Monday of this week, I had it all together except for one item. I was missing a badge, a chief's badge, and I only knew of one place where I could get a chief's badge and who was wearing it. So Monday afternoon before patrol briefing, I went to Assistant Chief Bishop's office. And I explained my dilemma. So he told me, Officer Whitlock, going down to patrol briefing, I'll take care of it. And on my way down, I was thinking, what have I done? I pictured Chief Bishop walking in the office and saying, give me your badge. I know what happens when a chief asks for ours. We're seeking employment elsewhere. But what happens when you ask the chief for his? About 10 minutes later, during briefing, Assistant Chief Bishop walked in. He slapped the chief's badge beside me on the table and walked out. Not a word was said. And I never asked. On behalf of the employees of the Longview Police Department, it's my honor and privilege to present you this gift for your retirement.
I started with this man back in 1985, but I'll have to tell you from the heart, this man is open-minded, he's fair, he listens to your concerns, he's always been fair with us, we've had a good working relationship, integrity above board, fair to his employees, but he's been a great asset to this city and to the citizens of Longview, and I'm truly going to miss him. He's kind of messed up my plans, but Chief, on behalf of the men and women, over 100 members of the Longview Police Officers Association, we have something we'd like to present to you for all your dedicated years, and we'd appreciate it if you'd open it for us. Thank you, Chief.
I don't know if there's anything more that I could say that hasn't already been said.
You'll be all right.
You'll be missed.
Thank you.
But I will tell you that it's been my honor and privilege to, as one of my first official acts as interim chief, is put my signature on your honorably retired department ID card.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Well, what to say? I want to thank each of you for being here today. As you were filing in, I remembered nearly all of you. And I really do appreciate you coming. When I began my career, things were a little different. But I was able to see how the police department grew, how the city of Longview grew, and how the technology is one of the things that really surprised me. It jumped up, and all of a sudden we had the internet. And then we had computers in our vehicles, and everything was run by computer. I've met some outstanding people in my career, and I can't say which one or whatever, but I know people from every law enforcement agency around. And every agency works together to try to keep not only the city, but the county and the state safe. And so I do appreciate you coming today. I want you to know that the police department is in great hands. One of the first things I did when I became chief on February the 1st, 2011, was I promoted Mike Bishop to assistant chief. And he has grown. He and I have worked closely together ever since then. He's going to be taking the reins, I think, temporarily, and then I'm still trying to talk the manager into. But, you know, I got some people now. But I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank my wife. She has stood by me. She was my support when I had a little medical problem. And I just can't say enough about every one of you. So I just want to say thank you. So thank you.